Hello again. I just wanted to make a fairly short video about the coming food crisis. Sounds a bit dramatic, doesn't it? But all the evidence would suggest that we are heading into a crisis. The financial situation is very, very bad across the world. Inflation is a big problem. So I live in Ireland, which is one of the least affected countries, I'd say. We produce a lot of food here, and prices have gone up, but they haven't gone up enormously at the moment. But there have been some interesting things that have happened that will affect the price of food. For instance, agricultural diesel, that's been put up by 40% in January. So imagine if you have a combine harvester, you have tractors, etc. The cost of running all that farm machinery will have gone up enormously. The cost of fertilizer has also gone up, doubled and tripled in some countries. The price of seeds has also gone up a great deal. So, I mean, we're lucky here in that we're pretty much able to produce enough food for the whole population and more again for export. But lots of countries aren't in that position. The UK has to import a lot of food. A particularly bad example would be Japan. They have to import most of their food, unfortunately. So they could be in for a really tough time. So I would say with a lot of producers deciding not to even grow some products, such as corn in America. Wheat is also a problem because it's very expensive to produce. Some farmers are just abandoning that. So, I mean, already you see shortages here in Ireland with certain products disappearing for weeks or months. From what I've been reading about America, it's particularly bad. There's, whole stores that have rows and rows of food missing. So of course, adding to this is a container crisis and also unhappy truck drivers, some of them going on strike in different countries. So the reaction to this is actually making things worse, not better. So as inflation continues to climb, it's going to get very difficult. So what I wanted to suggest was something positive rather than just saying, oh, it's going to be crap. How do you cope with this? How do you manage in a situation where the cost of food is skyrocketing? And the simple answer to that is to start growing some for yourself. Because here we tend to spend maybe 10% on food. That will maybe double this year, I'd say. Some unfortunate countries, people spend 90, 95, or even 99% of their income on food. So people in those countries are going to really, really suffer badly. There will be famine and death and terrible poverty in these countries. So I thank my lucky stars I live here, somewhere where land is plentiful and it's pretty easy to grow food. We don't have to worry about severe droughts, which can be a major problem. Say you planted sensitive crops such as corn or wheat, a period of drought can be catastrophic. The same with, for instance, broccoli. If you get a bad period, it suddenly goes what's called bolting. We tend not to have those problems here because it's a very temperate, mild climate. We get plenty of rain, and it's unusual to get, a period of 1 or 2 months where there's no rain. So, if you've got a little bit of land, I'd suggest maybe dig up the lawn, and start growing some vegetables. I would recommend growing expensive stuff. Here in Ireland, potatoes and carrots are pretty cheap. So if you want things like cabbages, broccoli, etc., asparagus, it might be worth looking into growing these things. And if you have a polytunnel or a greenhouse, you can grow things like peppers and tomatoes and courgettes very successfully. And all these items aren't cheap anyway, so by growing them yourself, you'll save a lot of money. You don't need to be an expert. There's lots of advice online, including some of my own videos, and great books that you can avail of that will teach you about gardening. I suppose the most important thing really is that you need to have a sunny spot. It's pointless trying to grow food in the shade. You need a nice sunny spot, hopefully not too battered by the wind, and obviously the soil is important. If you have some with no soil, you can make raised beds. You can also grow in containers. If say you've got a very small space, you can use things like barrels and window boxes, hanging baskets. So, even if you live in an apartment, it is possible to grow a fair bit of food, to grow things like garlic and onions very easily, maybe tomatoes and hanging baskets, etc. So, you could, in theory, if you've got the space, grow all of your food if you have the time to do it. But even if you've got a busy life and you haven't got that much time, you could reduce your food bills significantly by growing the more expensive items that you like to have. And then if they become either unavailable or incredibly expensive, then having your own will make that burden a lot less. And of course it's healthier to have your own food. You don't have to worry about GMO or pesticides being in your food, which is an added advantage, I'd say. So I would suggest that, given what's coming down the line, there will definitely be massive hikes in food prices and possible lack of availability of some foods. It would be very, very good to get some growing going, and should we're not far off in February, now's the time to think about getting ready to do that and preparing the ground, maybe getting a polytunnel, buying seeds, etc., so that you're all ready to go. And I wish you all the best of luck with that, and you might find you actually enjoy doing it as well. It's actually saving you some money, so give it a go. That's all I have to say for today. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.